Benta, as any other child who would be growing with ambition, looking forward for good life, would you please today share with me your story?
Yes, I would, Wycliffe. Born Benta Wasonga Urege. Born in 1986. And I lived with Mama. I lived with my parents for 4 years. Then I moved in with a relative. So the best part of my life, my childhood life, I grew up at a relative's place. I grew up a disciplined person because my relative was a disciplinarian and he was also in the discipline forces. So I grew up disciplined and disciplined, and I'm quoting it because it is not discipline as in discipline, because when you saw me, besides me doing other stuff that I will mention later, I was a disciplined child, I was a disciplined prefect, I was in the guidance and counseling. So there is that part of teachings that I got there that shaped my life later on, shaped my life. So at the age of 9, when I was in class 3, I started smoking. Not taught. Yes. I wasn't taught by anybody. I overheard 2 male people that I was close to, and I had them talk about their stresses in life, and the other one advising the other one on how to smoke. So at some point in life, I was a bit down, and I remembered that thing, and it triggered my mind, and I went for it.
You went for what?
For the cigarettes.
At the age of 9?
At the age of...
At the age of 9, what would bring you down?
I was sent home for school fees, and I loved school. I loved school so much. I had stayed home, just like any other child. When you're sent home for school fees, you would be excited for 3 days. You're home, you can play with your toys, you can play around and everything. So after 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, the reality checks in that you have been missing school. So I was like, why haven't I gone to school? And all my peers are now back to school, including my cousins. They're back to school. So now I was thinking, even babies have stress. I was thinking, how am I going to catch up with school? And I love school. Am I going to maintain my position as number 3? So when I was thinking this, I remembered what I had those 2 male people talk about. And I was like, okay, if that worked for him, if he smoked cigarettes, then he was relaxed, then probably this is going to work for me. So I went to the shop with 5 shillings, the Konasaba one, and bought 2 cigarettes. And after buying 2 cigarettes, I went with them to the balcony and I smoked. I didn't smoke.
The shopkeeper didn't ask you where you're taking the cigarette?
Yeah, they did. They did because they were a neighbor and they knew. My guardian wasn't smoking, and neither were the sons. So when they asked me why your parents don't smoke, your brother doesn't smoke, why are you taking this to? And I had to lie. Now lies cropped in. I think that was the first time I ever told my lie, a biggest one, and I cannot even comprehend to date where that came from.
Yeah.
So I told him there was a cousin of mine, another cousin now, that had come and had sent me this. So they gave me and I went to the balcony and I smoked and I didn't cough. I see people coughing.
Wait. We are still talking about the age of 9, isn't it?
Yes.
How did you do it?
Actually, I think it was less than 10 bob. But I took the 5 shillings and I went with it to the shop. Yes, bought the cigarettes, came with them, and I smoked the whole 2 sticks without coughing. I don't even know how that happened myself to date. But one thing is for sure, that I was very dizzy.
Dizzy after
and
smoking?
lightheaded. Yes, I was dizzy and lightheaded. But I didn't know after smoking, you smell of tobacco. So I was going about some business and I went and the gate man asked me, kwa nini unanuka moshi hivyo? So another lie in that same day, that's to date I cannot comprehend where it came from, cropped in and I said, father alikuwa ameacha takataka pale nichome.
Okay.
So I realized at that moment that when you do this thing, you smell of smoke. To me, then it was smoke, not tobacco. You smell of smoke, so I stopped. I didn't do it until I was in class 5.
So the first sticks you asked by the askari, and then you stopped.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I stopped, and until I was in class 5 again.
Okay. Class 5,
Yes.
class 6,
Yes.
class 7,
Yes.
class 8.
Mm-hmm.
You are smoking a stick each and every day.
Every day. So it's every weekday when I was in school.
Where were you getting money to buy the cigarettes?
I would say then cigarettes would by then the cigarette that I was smoking was going for 1 shilling and 50 cents. So anytime I got 3 shillings, I would usually buy them in twos. And I would work myself out just to get do some little chores here and there.
You advanced from the cigarette
Yes.
to what they called weed,
Yes.
which is bad.
Yes.
Wow. How did you start smoking, and where did you get the courage to start smoking bad?
I saw friends of mine. There was an estate behind our school, and I wouldn't go home most of the times for lunch. So I was passing by. I would pass by the estate and do some rounds. So one day I was passing, and I saw a group of boys that were previously in our school, and one was still in school with us. And I asked this one that was in school. The next time I saw him in school, I asked him, what were you people doing yesterday? And he was like, unataka kwenda kunisema? And I was like, no, I also want to do. They did not know I smoke, but I just told him, I also want to do that. So we agreed with him, and he got me a joint.
What's a joint?
A joint is one bang, one roll.
One stick.
Yes, one stick.
Okay.
So he got me a joint, and I smoked, and it felt better than cigarette. It was heavy, but it felt.
This is interesting. So you're saying after smoking this bang,
Yes.
you felt better.
Yes, you feel more relaxed. Yes, then I felt like you can't worry anymore. Everything is just like even when you've not done your homework and your people are anxious, people are going to be punished, you're just relaxed. It's like there is nothing going on. You're cool, you're calm. That is what you think. But then after the high is gone, you're back to your own troubles every other day.
Wow.
So that was in class 8, and it was in second term when I was in class 8. So I graduated now from smoking cigarettes to not just cigarettes now, to cigarettes and weed. And after I went on with that until I cleared my class 8.
And
the whole this time.
Just a minute. During this time, your guardians that you're staying with in the same roof, in the same house, are not aware that you're smoking cigarettes or that?
No, my parents, no, my guardians, not my friends, not my teachers. And I was a very active member in the church of the youth group, and even those people that were responsible for us in the church. Nobody knew about this. Nobody knew about it because I don't know if they just assumed or it was subconscious because I'm a very disciplined child and I'm a clever child in school. I can never do because I was never in any mistake in school. I was never punished for any mistake in school. I was this silent girl. You find me in a list of nosemakers maybe once in the whole term. So I don't know if they assumed because every other person of this, my guardian, my relatives, all of them came to know about my smoking when I was an adult. We used to live in Maka uptown place. So when I was there, my best friend said she's going home, she's reporting home. She would come over so that we can watch a movie. Mm-hmm. So when she came over, we watched a movie and we went to the bedroom and we slept. Now what woke me up? She was kissing.
What do you mean?
Yes, I woke up when she was kissing me. So for the first time in
your
my
friend?
Life, a friend, my best friend.
Your best friend?
My best friend.
Male or female?
Female.
Okay.
Yes, for the first time I was kissed by a girl. And this later on in life, I think it planted a demon in me.
Hmm.
Yes. So later on,
Did you ask why she was kissing you?
no, I was afraid of losing friends. She had been doing it when I was sleeping. So when I woke up and I pushed her, she saw the surprise in my face. I did not ask her, and she knew that I liked her so much. Liked her in the sense of that I loved her as a sister and her being my friend.
Okay. You want to be a nun at the same time you're smoking bang, you're smoking weed, and right now, this particular time, you're kissing girl to girl,
Yes.
and still you want to be a nun.
Yes, I want to be an. I so wanted to be a nun so much, so much that by at the end of every term, we would go to a monastery and live there for like 2 weeks and observe the life of the nuns and everything and stuff like that.
Okay.
So after I pushed my friend away and she saw the surprise in my face, we didn't talk about it. We just let the moment
Go.
Yes, go. So at that particular moment, it was like it was her cue and she had to go back home. So we never talked about it even in school. We didn't even like, ile ni nini ulikuwa unafanya. We never, to date, we never talked about it. Up to this moment, nobody knows that I smoke. But when I was in preschool now, my Swahili teacher realized this because I was in the drama club and I was also the best student in her class. So one day, she knew about this because one day, one of those most popular girls in school found me. And she said she was going to report me. Mathew, at that particular time, I'm in guidance and counseling club. I'm the discipline prefect also.
The new school?
Yes, in the new school. I'm a discipline prefect. I'm also in the guidance and counseling.
Wow.
So this lady, the popular lady in school that did not like me, found me. And she said she was going to report me. And I told her, you'll mess yourself up because nobody is going to believe you. So she reported me to the teachers and she was beaten. After her being beaten now, this Swahili teacher came and asked me, she used to call me by my sibling's name and asked me, is it true that you smoke? And I told her, Madam, we used to call her Madam. Madam, it is true. I smoke. And she asked me why. So for the first time, somebody was concerned. I felt like somebody was concerned so much about me. And if I had my ways of even finding that teacher today, I don't know. I will tell her now.
Which form is this now?
Now I'm in Form 3.
In Form 3.
Yes. So after I told her and I told her my predicaments and a lot of things. And I was open to her. Because she was those teachers that you love.
Okay.
So after I told her that, I expected maybe she was going to reprimand me or something. But funny, I fell away from relief after telling her that. So I thought she was going to reprimand me or quarrel me, but she gave me a packet of cigarettes.
What?
Yes. And told me, I'm giving this to you, not because it is a good thing, but I'm giving it to you so that you know that you're going to mess your life with this. So even if you're doing this, know that one day this smoking is going to mess your life. I was not open about the bag. I just told her about the cigarettes. I did not tell her about the bag. So she knew that I was only smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
So after she gave me that packet, she never talked. I think she was trying to play reverse psychology,
Yes.
that you should feel guilty and not take it and everything. But I guess because I was still young then, and maybe that thing had taken part of me. And I was addicted.
You are so addicted.
Yes. So in fact, they were high-end cigarettes.
Wow.
Yes. You know, this one that I smoke every other day, I would get 3 for the price of 1 of these ones that she was giving.
Okay.
So I took them and I smoked.
You smoked?
No, not in front of her, definitely. Yes, but I took the pack.
What advice did you take from her?
When I was, the reality was hitting me later on in life. I remember, that is why I remember her today.
Okay.
Because later on in life, it did mess my life. I was messed up because of these cigarettes. And I even tried many methods and ways of stopping it, but I didn't.
Okay.
Yes. So I come back to now Nairobi, and I'm out of school now. And I fall out with my siblings over some issue. My sisters, I fall out with them over some issue, and I decide to move from home. So now when I move from home, I get into a bad place.
What do you mean a bad place?
I moved in with a stranger friend that went away with my belongings, because my belongings, when I say my belongings, they were only clothes.
Yeah.
And went away with my belongings and left me with only the clothes that I was putting on. So I had to move in with another friend that offered me a place to stay. And that friend apparently was a wife to a thug and a leader of a gang.
Leader of a gang.
Yes.
Okay.
So now I had to put up with her at her place because the husband was not there. So when the husband got back, I had to move out because there was going to be a lot of action that night.
Okay.
So I moved. I did not have anywhere to go, and I had to go and sleep at the brother, not the brother to the wife, no, the brother to the husband, who is also a gang member.
Oh my.
Yes, who lives with another gang member.
Oh my.
So now I'm going to sleep with two men in a one-roomed house who are not my friends.
Strangers?
Yeah, not strangers as that, but they're not my friends. I know them because they would come and see, and they would come and visit us when the leader was in jail.
Okay.
And see if we are okay, bring us food stuff and everything. And because, they see a lady who is not the wife of the gang member, and they also want this lady,
Oh, yeah.
So we were not strangers, but we were not friends.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So not so friends that you can just be comfortable and sleep. So I said, okay, liwe liwa, liwe liwalo. Yes. So now when they were smoking, now see, I'm an adult. They're smoking, I smoke with them. Now there is a lot of weed and there is a lot of cigarettes. And of course you're a lady, they be gentlemen, and they would give me to my share, to my fullest. So this night, one of them decided they're going to sleep on a couch, and the other one is going to share the bed with me. And for the first time in my life, a thug that I did not love or even know well took my innocence. And not only that, infected me with an STI.
How did you feel that day? Or how did you feel that night?
I cannot say, like ladies would say that it was horrible or my first time was so good or what. No, I cannot say. I was just there, like I was like, he's right. You're not paying anything. This is what you're paying for the sleep.
For the sleep.
Yes, but I wouldn't tell you. I don't know if I had my heart had become of stone. I did not feel anything. But one thing that I knew, I did not like him. Because he was from a certain tribe and I never loved those people. So I paid for that night with my innocence. So later on in life, I did not even know about this STI. I knew about it later on.
Okay.
At this time, I'm 19. I'm 19 years. So now I started. I graduated from now just bang and cigarettes to mirror and alcohol, and I would do it every day. Every day, that if a day passes, it would be in a week. If a day passes, it would be 1 or 2 days. But every other day we would do it. Slowly, Mira is expensive. So, a friend of ours now again introduced us to Mogoka. Mogoka is the same high as Mira, only that now the high comes faster. Like it's an example of somebody taking a beer and whiskey or brandy. So and it is even cheaper. So we were introduced because by then when it was getting into the market, 20 shillings you would afford a Mogoka, and it would take you maybe to midnight or even 3 a.m. Depending on the time that you started eating it and the way you chew it. And with it now comes sex. So in this process, I'm having sexual relations with people. Mind you, the first experience I had with sex, I told you I got an STI. And this friend of mine, later on, is the one who realized that I had an STI. And I even got pregnant. So she did an abortion for me. Me not knowing. Because I came later on in life to realize it was an abortion now. when I got into church. I realized it was an abortion. It's the first time I had sex, I had STS and I got pregnant. And because I was still new, I'm those type of girls that they start their menses kind of late. So I was not familiar with everything, and remembering that I wasn't very close to people who would teach me how to do stuff as a woman and my reproductive life. So later on, I realized that this lady had helped me, or rather, she had aborted for me the first child that I had, because she was a friend who was way older than I am. So now I started having sex, and I was never using protection because I was in a cult, and we did not believe in using protection, like using condoms. So I would have sex, and unlucky for me, many a times I would get pregnant, and I would wait until the pregnancy was about 5 months and go and abort it. Now it became a demon again was planted inside me of getting pregnant, waiting until it's 5 months old, 5 to 6 months old, then go and abort it and come back and continue with life as normal. Something that I very much regret these days. And if I could really turn back the hands of time and I was told to go and collect all those kids, I would go and collect them and give them to those motherless, to those childless mothers that want children, because I realized it is hard for some people to even have children, whereas I was having babies and I was deleting them. And the saddest part is that I was waiting until they started growing. Then I would go and delete them, because we used to call them to delete. I would tell my friend, oh, fair girl, I'm going to Nani's place to delete. So call her for me and tell her I'm going to delete. This time now, they are mobile phones. So I would wait, get pregnant, go and delete. And I derived some joy in it, because it was something that I would do, and I knew those days there were family planning, and I could, but I could not do it because now my belief in this cult that we are in, that we are never supposed to use protection, we're never supposed to use condoms.
Oh my God. So you're saying you aborted?
Yes, I did.
A number?
A number. And when I say a number, it's not even 1 to 10. It's way past. Because those ones that I did that were mature past 10, and those ones that I did that I would manipulate that were 2 weeks, 3 weeks, were also quite a number. And even after I had babies, I did.
But by the time you are doing these abortions, or what you call deletion,
yes.
Do you know that abortion is illegal?
Yes, I knew it was illegal. And even the cult that I was in professed it, that it was illegal. But as I said, I would say it is a demon that was planted in me. Oh. And it is something that I regret to date. Only that you cannot never turn the hands of time.
What would you tell somebody that is planning to abort now?
Oh my. I would tell that person not to even think of it. Not to even think of it. Because later on in life, I met a friend that was really struggling with getting a child. And this person, I saw firsthand. You know, you hear stories, but this one I saw firsthand. How she was trying to get a child and she couldn't, and it was messing her marriage. And also I met other people that got pregnant and aborted, but now they can never have children again for that one act. I might have gotten lucky because I have 2 children.
Oh wow.
Yes, I do.
You have children?
Yes, I have 2 children. I have a boy and a girl. But this person can never get lucky like that somebody that I met. They might struggle with it later on in life. And even myself, in as much as I have children, it is a guilt that I carry to date. In as much as I was forgiven by the Lord Jesus Christ, but it's something, anytime I see a woman suffering of childlessness, it affects me.
Wow. So, just one more question. By the time you were doing all these abortions, where are your parents?
This time, my dad had passed on, And after some time, my dad had passed on. My mom was there, but she was in the rural area. So I was just with this friend of mine. I was living with this friend of mine when I was doing this abortion. Some of them I did when I was with her. Some now I had moved independently because there was a time that we fell off, and I had to move on with my life, even though we are friends now, but I had to move on with my life. So some I did after I had moved on with my life. Some I even did when I was in relationships, and strong ones.
Wow.
Yeah. So now I started, I got some job, and now a good job, and money started coming in. So now money was coming in, and I'm meeting new people, and there is a lot of fun now going on. This is now after I have had my first child, and because I had problems with house girls, and I had to send her to my mom. So I'm alone. My child is with my mom, and I'm working, and I'm getting a lot of money. So with a lot of money comes a lot of friends and a lot of fun. And my encounter now with friends who are lesbians, and now got into their club. I started also vibing ladies, but I would vibe them for men, and I would derive fun in just vibing ladies, getting them, and then leaving them with my friends to sleep with. So now it was not just, it was drugs now, plus cult in it, plus lesbianism in it, and I was on a roll, and nobody could tell me nothing. I wouldn't hear anybody, because those days they used to call me I Sasha, because I was cream de la cream, that person with money, that person with swag, that person with everything that you would want. Because I was possessed.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I would see people following me. I would hear voices telling me that they're going to turn me into a zombie. So I was possessed, and the only thing I was at peace. The only place that I was at peace was inside this church. So in as much as I felt that urge, I couldn't go outside, because I'm just feeling like if I get outside of that gate, those things are going to catch up with me.
Wow.
Yes, and when I'm telling you I was possessed, I had 298 demons.
298. How did you know that you've got 298 demons?
Yeah,
Would you see them? Could you hear them, or what made you come to that conclusion?
I got I would hear people talk to me, and I would hear voices, and I would see visions. So when I got so much into prayer, deep into prayer, now when I was taken to another church somewhere in the rural places, and I started praying so much, because I saw people suffering, people with different problems, and even bigger problems than my own, because that place, the only thing we would do was pray. We would pray after every 3 hours. So when I was getting into prayer, there were these revelations, because there are people, there are men and women of God in that place. This revelation came to a woman of God, and she was told, because I was healed, as much as I was healed, the very first day I stepped foot in that church, and it is something that had to be renewed every other day, because I was possessed. So I was asking, why can't I now leave and go home? Then the revelation came that I would sit there, because I had 298 demons, which was the count of my hair. Then I had Rastafari, I had rastas, I had dreadlocks.
Dreadlocks.
Yes, and I had 298 locks. So she, of course, she didn't count. She didn't know. I'm the only one who knew that I had my dread, because I used to count them. There were 219. So every strand of my lock was a demon. So it was a revelation that was brought upon a woman of God by the gift of the Holy Spirit, and we prayed. And from that moment, that is in sometime in 2015, I never had the moment I set foot on that church. I've never had that urge of smoking to date, because when I set foot there and I saw people suffering, I told God that I would only worship you under one condition, that you would take away the urge of smoking, and the urge of not just smoking cigarettes, but the urge of smoking cigarettes and the urge of smoking weed, because those two are the worst that I couldn't deal with, I couldn't survive without, then these other ones will definitely follow. And from that moment, I told God that I never had that urge to date. I could smell somebody doing bang, like very far off, and I would tell people somebody is smoking bang, and they would ask me, how do you know that? And I would tell them I used to do this. So I would smell that and I would not feel like, because usually I would smell that and I would go towards that person, but now I would smell it and tell somebody is smoking bang over there, but I would not even have that urge of going to that place. So now I stopped it, because I conversed with God and I told him, if you really want me to worship you, then you will take this away from me. And he did.
How do you feel? How do you find life like?
You see, there is this peace that comes with knowing Jesus. And this peace, I celebrate it so much. I can now sleep that I couldn't even when I had all that money, when I was in addiction and all those drugs. In as much as I was doing them, I wouldn't get a good night's sleep. I would not. And I was always watching over my shoulder because I was in a cult. But now there is a peace that is reigning supreme in my life, for just knowing Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And I think now that I know him, I'm walking in the heavenly portal, and someday I'm going to sing with the angels in heaven in some avenue, celebrating this, that truly Jesus Christ can change somebody who was worthless, because then I was very worthless. He wouldn't do anything with me. When he came to my life, I was worthless. So now he's given me back my worth. And I'm happy that I can also now be a good mother.
Amen.
Yes, and I can also be a good friend.
Amen.
Yes, and I can tell people that Jesus Christ is Lord. I would tell youngsters who are doing this, or who are involved in drugs, or who have gotten themselves into gayism, lesbianism, or even those ones who are plotting abortions, because as it is now, they say they're afraid of pregnancies than diseases. So I would tell them this is something that will catch up with you in life. To date, I have regrets, but the most important thing I will tell them is that this thing will come and pass, but reality and your life, it remains with you. When reality checks in, then you cannot give birth when you had the chance of giving birth, you see. So instead of even going for that abortion, just stop having sex. Just stop having sex and wait for the right time, because it might be the only child that you will ever have, and you aborted that child. And if you get into these sexual relationships that are not good, the gayism and the lesbianism, there is a judgment waiting for you at the end of the day. And someday you would want to get married, because that is not what God created people to be. Someday you want to get married and it will affect your marriage. You can never have a good time, with your partner because of these things. And at that time, you really need to be with someone. 90% of my friends that I did that with are dead. And most of them are dead because of diseases related to these things. So yes, these things do kill. And if they don't kill you, they're going to mess your life. Some cannot give birth simply because they used drugs. Some cannot even hold themselves together. Some have lost their teeth. Some have lost their beauty. So it might be in vogue. It might be something you are enjoying. But the truth is that when reality checks in and time comes dripping in, there is a lot of regrets in it. So if you can stop that, you stop it now.
Do not wait to regret, as my sister here, Benta, regretted. The Bible says that if you knock, the doors shall be opened to you. You know what? Jesus Christ is the Lord of rehabilitation. Do not wait, and I repeat, do not wait. Run to Jesus Christ, and your life is going to be changed, just the same way Benta's life was changed, and today Benta is a saved person. Thank you. God bless you.